Hi there. This is episode three. No, this is one, two, three. Yeah, This is episode three of what happened in grade two. I did two previous episodes. What happened in kindergarten? What happened in grade one? Now this is episode three about what happened to me in grade two. So, in grade two, I got a watch, a brand new watch that my father had brought for us children after he went on a work program to Barbados. Yay! That time we were young, so I was like seven. I had a younger sister, and I had a brother that was a little bit older, and he brought watches for all three of us. The watches were very similar in design but slightly different in color. And yeah, I got my watch, and the first day I wore it to school in grade two. And all of the classroom was so big and full of students with one teacher. And so all of the students in the class wanted to see my new watch. I don't even know how it started because I'm normally very quiet and I don't brag. I don't go around showing off. But somehow everyone knew of my new watch, and all of a sudden my watch was off my hand, and everyone was trying on my watch in the classroom even though we were supposed to be doing our work at school. So I had a cousin in the class, and I thought she was the one I had left my watch with because everyone wanted to try on my watch, and it was not even a little, it wasn't jewelry, it wasn't metallic, it was a rubber banded watch, and it had like a tiger tiger, like it had like tiger marks on it, it was the pattern of tiger stripes, so it looked cool. So maybe in orange or yellow, something like that. So I thought it was my cousin that had my watch. So I went back to sit down to finish doing my work, because where I was sitting in the classroom, I could hardly see the board from that corner of the classroom, and I just really wanted to complete my work because we were coming to the end of that school day. And by the time I was about finished with my work and I remembered my watch, I'm like, yeah, it's time to get my watch back now. I went over to my cousin and she said she does not have it. She didn't even have it on her hand or anything. She said someone else had it, and I was looking through for everyone that was surrounding me to try my watch on, and my watch disappeared. My watch disappeared the first day I went to school with it. And I spoke to the teacher about it. She did nothing about it. So yeah, I lost my watch in grade two, and it was terrible. It was the worst. My big brother and we went to the same primary school, and normally, so we were going home. So normally we go home together. And he noticed that I did not have my watch on. He had his on, and he was asking about my watch, and I told him that it was stolen from me in the classroom and I did not get it back. He started to jeer at me, how he knew I was going to get in trouble with my parents when I got home. He just knew they were gonna throw a fit. He knew it was going to be the worst for me, and I was so frightened. I was praying, I was chanting, everything, but I knew by then I would never get my watch back. So we were heading home at that time, and he promised me that he would not tell on me. And I was like, maybe I will like escape from the lashing this time, because he said he's not gonna tell, and I was hoping that my parents just wouldn't notice. So as soon as we went home, but before that, he had me do some type of ritual, because when we were growing up as children, we did all types of rituals. One of them was like to not look behind us. Just before we were, like when we were on that home stretch heading home as children, one of our like one of the methods of us not getting in trouble was not to look behind us. So that's what I did. And I said, all right, I'm not going to look behind me. I'm going to hold my head straight and go home, hoping and praying that that little ritual would work and I would not get in any problems. But as soon as I stepped in the yard, my mother was out, like at the front of the yard. She was cooking on a wood fire and she had her friend there. I would call this woman her best friend. And this woman actually was the mother of my cousin. Somehow, I am just putting this little piece together. She was the mother of the cousin that was in my said classroom. And she was like a best friend of my mother. Anyhow, so when I went down into the yard, I was like 7 or 6 going 7. My brother immediately said to my mother that I lost my watch and I let my watch get stolen in the classroom, and I was so frightened I could, on myself. And my mother, she grabbed me right in front of her friend, which is maybe my auntie, but I never called her auntie. I just saw her as my mother's friend, but she was my cousin. Ask me how. She was my cousin's mother though. Maybe, I don't know. And I literally never thought of that it was the same girl in the class that I left my watch with that same day. And my watch ended up going missing. And I literally believed my cousin, that she would not steal my watch. I really believed her, for real. I thought it wasn't her for real. But anyhow, when I got to the yard, my mother, she grabbed me. She literally grabbed a piece of firewood out of the fire, and she gave some lashing around my little legs with it. And it was the worst, most terrible experience. I was cussed. I was like lashed. I was called careless. I was called stupid. I was, everything that you can think about. So, I went through a lot of humiliation just because I decided that it would be okay to be kind and to share my watch with others. I didn't think for a moment that it would have gotten stolen. I really did not. And yeah, my mother's friend was there. She did not even really do anything to prevent my mother from lashing out at me. She didn't do anything. She probably was all for it. I'm not certain. But now I think about it, many years later, she really was the mother of the cousin in the class the same very exact day that I lost my watch after thinking that I had left it with my trusted cousin to wear it for a little while I finished writing my work off the board. Yeah, so that was my story of what happened to me in grade 2. And I'm talking about these things because they're still on my mind. Sometimes these are the things that, like, every time something like this happened to me, it's like I record it down in history and I never forget, and it somehow shapes my personality. So here I am creating a channel to express myself, and this is only episode 3. Alright, I remember my life based upon how, like, my grades in school. That's how I remember most of my experiences, based upon my grade, or most of some of the traumatic things that happened to me that I really want to get off my chest. And I feel like this is just the beginning and I have to start from scratch, just so you know. So thanks for keeping up with me, and we'll talk again next time.